maybe from a business perspective, we, as commissioners, as investors in the project, we greenlit scripts, we go through the changes. In Ombura, we have workshops where we're workshopping the script and we're going through the writers, So it's important for us then when the actors come in, who are also greenlit, by the way, and, it's important that we stick to what has been approved so that we know that it's going to go on a TV somewhere and someone will watch it. So it's so important what you're saying, that it is a profession and it's not just you, the talent in front of the camera, but there's a whole team, a whole process before you and after you that needs to be respected as well.
Just adding a little bit also, I always tell the guys that we must not be too overconfident and think that we know everything.
Yes.
We must always be willing to listen, must always be willing to learn and practice. Don't just think that, okay, we know our lines, I'm going to meet you on set. Create time.
See me when you see me.
I think it's more, it's nice when two actors come together and then you have worked through what suits that screen best, with the director being there, so that you guys create more emotion.
Yeah, the chemistry is important.
Connection, more, just so that it's more real.
Each other.
Yeah.
It needs to be real because at the end of this, we need to convince people that it's us.
Yes.
You're stepping out of your comfort zone of who you are,
Yes.
and then you are telling a story from somebody else's perspective. So you need to embody yourself within that, be prepared, well prepared with all these things that I've mentioned. And I think that is going to make you who you are, so that people, when they see you, they say, Mar, because some of the movies that I've played before the project with DSTV, is that I was the guy with the eyes that are
Cross-eyed.
And the whole time you're like this, and people see you, but it's your work, it needs to, right from the beginning, you keep your character throughout. Do not change, you keep your character so that it's believable. Once people see you, they need to think, she's a slay queen. In reality, we must be afraid of you. To say, I said, Deacon Gray.
Yes.
I said, Deacon Gray, yes, like a trace of a swat mark. Understand? Some of the characters, there was this woman called Nziki in many years ago.
Generation.
I hated her so much. Some of these characters, you really hate them so much because they bring out that beast within us. Then, so I cannot take you out.
But I think that's what acting is. You're portraying parts of stuff we have inside of ourselves as audience members, right? So
just before you move on, I think for this one very important note, and then I'm done.
Sure.
This one works for me. It's just a personal trick that has always worked. And it's probably some of the things that we take for granted, and that is costume. Like for me, when I'm in costume, I become the character. There are times when we're probably doing a close-up. And I'm probably not wearing my shoes. I'm probably wearing slippers. I can feel the shift in character, But when I'm wearing
you're in full costume,
this guy that I'm playing, let's say Michael for argument's sake. If this is something that Michael would wear, I become Michael. I talk like him, I walk like him, my behavior changes. I am that guy. So I think that also goes a very long way. And I think that is something that should not also be taken for granted. Costume really plays a huge role in casting.
We need all the costume, the makeup, the catering.
the catering.
The first ADs and so on. So you've given us a little bit of a tip. That's a good tip. We had some masterclasses with the first phase as well as this one. Maybe you can share one or two for aspiring actors, something that you've learned that you didn't know during our masterclasses. Or maybe if you didn't learn anything, that's fine too. But if one or two tricks that could help someone who's starting out in their career. Costume is important. I like that.
Another one for me, and I do it just before we start film. I walk.
Okay.
I'm just walking, reading my lines, walking. Like I'll just pace, like walk in a circle, whatever, walk the room. That helps me a lot because the more I walk, the more I become this. I start walking like this guy. And I start talking like this guy. I'm reading my lines and I'm walking and reading my lines in this guy's voice.
Okay.
That's an excellent tip that has always helped me over the years. It helps me
get into character.
Get off script. Because many times you see many actors and actresses, they're just in one corner and they just reading lines, trying to memorize.
Yeah.
But try walking. Just walk and read your lines. It really just helps.
Walking in this person's shoes, so to speak. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Just do it over and over. Do it over and over. Eventually, you just become this guy. And what helps me a lot is also when I'm done doing that process, my process, I try not to have personal conversations with people.
Yes.
So you're a bit of a method actor.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
We're going to talk. Let's talk shop. Let's talk about the script, whatever.
Because like Diana was saying, there is an emotional energy that goes into the process, and we need to also understand we're people as well.
I was actually going to add on to that. Like, if you can stay away from your phone
Yeah.
as you're reading it, that takes you out of character.
Okay.
Because now you get a call from Elzita, and Elzita is asking you, where's that form that I needed signed? And now it takes you out of everything, right? So just really get into your space, focus. And these, there's some warm-ups that help a lot. For example, there's one that I absolutely love where you close your eyes, you envision your character standing far away from you. All you can see is their silhouette, and then they're stepping closer and closer and closer. Now they're right in front of you. Now you're analyzing everything. What does your character look like? What are they wearing? How are they walking towards you, right? And then now you're like, okay, fine. You ask your character to introduce themselves to you. And then you talk to them. You're basically having a conversation. You can do this audibly or you can do it internally, whatever it is. But you're closing your eyes. You're envisioning this character in front of you. And then what you ask of your character is, may I please step into this role now? So can you please remove these clothes that you're wearing and give them to me? Because now I am becoming that character. So now this character takes off their clothes and then they give them to you. So you exchange clothes. And then now you watch Diana walking away. It's like, okay, goodbye, Diana. Diana's not here anymore. Now it's
character.
Now it's character. Yes.
Okay.
Now it's
Now it's Mary.
Now it's Mary. Exactly.
My wife.
We've seen some movement tricks. We've seen some visualization. Mervyn, do you have any tips for us for the aspiring actor? How to
get in character on set?
Yeah, just some tips.
Most of the characters that I've done also, like you hear the villain, especially if I look at Bokwachter, these are dirty guys. So on set, I was the guy that was in the sand, with my in the sand there,
rolling around,
stand up. Then I'm angry for no reason.
Yes.
And then I'm with my guy, and then we laugh at something silly, and then I will look at him, and he will change his face.
Yes, because you're serious now.
Character.
Yeah.
Once, like Dai say, once you get into costume, you are that guy.
So a tip for someone to get into character. Someone who's starting out in their career.
Be alone on set, and go through your lines. You're and go stand in front of the mirror and just look at yourself, maybe for a minute, and just look at how do you look like. Say a line, and how do you say that line constantly? It's never an ending process, unless the director says it's a rap. So you constantly, once you get on set, you're already that guy. Once you get into costume, you go around, call your partner if you need to. I always say, whether we have rehearsed it or not, before we go on set, I always get my partners that I need to, when we run through it. And then we're so serious on set.
I love that filmmaking is such a tribe, eh?
It is. And just to add on to that, once you're on set, it's no longer Dice. It's Emmanuel.
Yeah.
It's no longer Mervyn.
Yeah.
It's Joseph.
Yeah.
Because again, that helps you keep the character and the relationships. So even in your interactions, Diana's not interacting how Diana would interact with Dice.
Yes.
Now it's Mary interacting with Emmanuel. And so how do their interactions, how are they?
How does it play out? So to wrap up, I think, what do you think the future of the Namibian film industry holds? How do you think MultiChoice is playing a role in that? We have films coming out on CakeNet soon, Afrikaans films. So what do you think the future of our industry is looking like?
I would say it definitely looks bright. But we would definitely need more investors on board. Because as much as MultiChoice is doing their hardest, it cannot just we cannot be reliant on just MultiChoice. We need more investors. We need more stakeholders on board. And we need people to take and respect our craft seriously. Because I always say, as much as people are like, oh, but acting is not even a real job, It is.
It is.
Think back to COVID-19. Who was keeping you company when you were locked down in your house?
100%.
It was us. It was the actresses, the actors, the singers,
Who was
the
keeping
musicians.
you from being lonely?
Exactly. It was us. So I think just that respect. Don't just say, oh, but they're just actors. Respect our craft, because a lot goes into
As
us
we heard
making
today,
it
yeah.
a reality, so that it's believable. As an actor, there's one thing that I absolutely hate. I cannot watch a film with bad acting because now I can see in the way you're acting that this is the line and this was the stage direction, and I hate that.
Yeah.
Immediately
There's
I
no
switch
depth,
off.
yeah.
There's no depth. So now imagine we are putting in all of this work and then people just disregard it. People don't respect it. People don't want to invest. That breaks us as actors and actresses. So I would definitely say, in terms of just Namibian film industry, more stakeholders, more investors on board to really broaden our horizons, because we have such great talent. We have great producers, great directors, writers. Our films deserve to be out there in the world.
Yeah.
We cannot just be like, oh no, but we're
I'm
comfortable
fully
here.
with you.
Yes.
And I think that was our ethos going on into the second phase with Umbura. We really wanted it to be a collaborative process, so we want to collaborate from every aspect of the film. So, and it's not just the filmmaking at the end, there's different steps, and we want to have more partners on board. We want to see more investment, because ultimately it's about developing the industry,
And sorry, just to add on, it would be nice if we could eventually pursue acting as full-time.
Yeah.
Because currently, as it stands, we cannot afford
Yeah.
to take on acting as a full-time profession.
I have debts to pay. And I can, with confidence, maybe say that I'm one of the senior actors.
Yes.
Because I'm even getting gray hair while I'm in this. Yeah. But in terms of where we are, from my perspective, I need to say that Multi-Choice came up with a brilliant concept.
Yes.
I've never been in so many movies in my entire life within these 2 projects that have been done.
2 years.
Yeah, so to be honest, it's a great initiative in terms of creating a platform for actors to come together. But where are we is the question. And I'm going to give you my honest opinion on this.
Yeah.
There's 2 industries. You have the actors, and then you have the platform that is created. Look at the actors. You have actors, yes. But in terms of looking at the platform where actors are created, look at the universities. Fourth year student, you have only maybe 3 students
Yes.
that wants to really pursue acting on a professional level.
Yeah.
It's terrible. You cannot go to a university, the biggest university, and find 3 actors in the last year.
Yeah.
What is the motivation that people around Namibia gets in terms of venturing into the acting industry?
Yeah.
And also, I think there is a whole lack of understanding if it comes to film and the investment concept. You hear it's a movie, but this movie entails a lot of things.
Yes.
It entails the actors. It entails the cameramen, the sound guys. It entails the people that does the catering.
Costume,
It entails
makeup.
the cost, the fashion design. We have our stories to tell. Where is the Heritage Council? Because heritage, the fashion designers, the arts councils, these people need to come together, because within one movie you have a lot of artistic genres.
Yes.
The music, you have the composers that needs to come in, you have the fashion designers. Where are the fashion houses that needs to come on board and say, we have created so much finances for fashion for this movie? You have the cars that we drive, it's marketing for these people. Who comes on board from this from these car dealers that say we want to brand our car strategically and advertise? There's a lot of things. What do we drink on set?
Yeah.
There is a whole concept that we have missed in terms of how we can grow this industry, so that at the end of the day, there's a lot of people that comes together. If we have a drink on set, this is communication that we create for this, for an organization. How do we come together, invest, so that we take out quality and do more? So in terms of where we are, in terms of investment, Multi-Choice needs a lot of partners in this.
I agree.
Because you do a lot that is not recognized within the film itself. So that is the marketing, the communication, the fashion, all these things that I have mentioned. And there needs to be a lot of platforms created within the Namibian society that people must be motivated to because do not take acting for granted and just say that I'm naturally gifted.
Yeah.
There's a lot of methods that can really grow your art so that people take time to study the art and grow the art and develop themselves to become the greatest, so that once we are on set, we can give quality.
Yeah. And I think one thing, just from a business perspective, you hear how much effort, how much time, how much money is spent on creating a film or documentary or whatever. The craft, the backstories, the education, the skills developed, all of that. And then you have this, like, from our side, piracy coming through. And I always tell people, when you stream illegally and when you whatever, it's not just about DSTV, you're eating at our bottom line, but you are also, it's a slap in the face of people who have worked hard to put a craft together, it's like respecting them also and making sure that we're also paid, because we're not doing it for fun. Of course, you're passionate, but at the end of the day, we have to pay debts too. You know what I mean?
Debts. And even with passion only takes you so far. Like he's saying, I was fortunate enough to study drama.
Yeah.
I have a bachelor's in media and drama. So it's one of those things whereby you feel disrespected when someone just comes and says, but it's just acting. It's not just acting. This is 4 years worth of tuition that I had to put into this. And then even getting, those newcomers that don't fully respect the craft. I would say if you're a newcomer and you're on a set with seasoned actors, listen to them. Take advice from them, right? Yes. Don't just be a know-it-all because you've spent 10 years watching Grey's Anatomy or whatever it is and now you think you're a professional. Yeah. Because we are people that actually have put in the work. Yeah. And like he's saying, for people to actually want to study, because right now, the first question you get asked when you say I want to study drama is, but does it pay?
Yeah.
How do you answer that?
Yeah.
It's not just a thing of passion anymore, because looking at the economy that we're in, passion cannot take you anywhere. It will take you somewhere, but it won't take you far.
Yeah.
So I would say a big shout out to MultiChoice, of course, for giving us this platform, because like Mervyn is saying, we would have never, our films, most of the time when we do them, we get a premiere, that's it, it's done. We got to get people, I got family in the UK asking for my Showmax sign in so that they can watch
which is piracy too, but
but it's a profile. I'll show my 5 profiles.
I love that we try to also close the loop. So it's not just funding, but it's also skills development.
Yes.
But then also the actual distribution. So you can tune in to CakeNet, you can put on your Showmax, you can actually see the films. Dice, final words from you.
Yes. For me, I'm very fortunate that I'm in 2 industries, the film and in the music. Yeah. The disrespect comes when my peers on the other side of the fence like, hey, Dice, I see your transition is good. Even though they're only seeing the fruits of the labor now.
Yeah.
Even though we've been doing it for a few years now, they're like, I also want to do acting. I'm like, bruv, you just think it's just wake up. And go do it. Yeah. With that said, I believe that the film industry is at a very good place right now. Shout out to Film Commission and the NTN and the colleges that has been pushing it all the way. But a bigger shout out to MultiChoice to putting it to this level where it is right now, not to take away from anybody else. With that being said, for the first time, just like what Marvin just said, last year I felt like I was actually at work. I was on this set, I was on that set. Like I was busy. I was busy. And I said to myself, this is how it's supposed to be. Yeah. This is how the film industry is supposed to be. Yeah. Or work on one film the whole year. And that is where we need to go to.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer that you need to do it over and over to be better.
Yes.
Like we can't just see Marvin this year and then next year a completely different face and we don't see Marvin anymore.
Yeah.
We need to build this momentum and we need to grow his brand.
While he's hot.
So that Marvin can, we push him across border and he becomes the ambassador of our country.
Yeah.
And this is what we strive for with MultiChoice. That's why we put in the work. we put in the hours, we put in the sacrifice because we understand the importance of this partnership. It's a win-win. As much as we're doing it for the channel, we are also doing it for the hopes that a director somewhere can identify our
Namibia
skills.
to the world.
You understand?
To the world.
Yeah. So that's why I don't believe that this where we are now, it's just for anybody to just come and say, I have the skill set, or I have the passion, or I have an interest for me to just participate. You know, you need to put in the work, because when you are on this platform, you're not just doing it for yourself, but you are technically an ambassador out there. For this round, what I really liked about it is that I've seen so many guys behind the scenes that were used on multiple productions. That was very good, because we don't know everything. By design, yes. We don't know everything. Yes, we do beautiful films in Namibia. We got unique stories. We got
beautiful landscapes.
Exactly. But when it comes to specifications, as far as the channel goes, there's a lot to learn.
There is a lot. Yeah.
So with that being said, when we are recycling these guys, they gain experience. When they work on their own projects, they carry. It's like a skill transfer, and they can educate an aspiring somebody who is on the set to adopt or to adhere to these standards. And it goes with the actors as well.
Yeah.
So I applaud MultiChoice for the initiative. I hope this partnership goes far. I've gotten a lot of exposure. Like I said, I was in Aranos today. Tomorrow I was in Walvis Bay. Then I was in the north.
We'll be here all day if we have to talk about distribution and marketing. But thank you guys so much for joining us. We look forward to seeing your 2 new films coming out later this October 2024 on channel 144 and 145 on DSTV, and 14 and 15 on GoTV, as well as Showmax. So very excited about our second phase. Thank you so much for sharing your insights and some of your challenges and aspirations of your craft.
By the way, when are we going to become brand ambassadors for MultiChoice?
That's for another day. So thank you so much, guys.
Thank you for having us. It was lovely. It was lovely.
Thank you so much.
Can I please finish my water?
Please finish your water.
Maybe I'll get another one
Again.
and take by force.